Hi, good afternoon. My name is Keith Thompson, and this is one of the How To It series of videos, of which there'll be quite a few over the next few months. So today we're just going to measure on cast iron tables and other parts on woodworking machinery. Cast iron tables are very common on especially bandsaws, table saws and planer thicknesses, mortisers, you name it. That most of the better machines have got cast iron. It's great, it's heavy, wears really well, normally is pretty stable. It's a great material for any kind of woodworking or engineering, come to that, but it does have a couple of drawbacks. Firstly, if you've got a damp workshop or even a fairly dry one like this, unprotected tables will rust. End of. The second thing is they're not particularly slippery. So there's more effort to push the wood over the table, especially on machines that don't have a sliding table to carry it, but a planer where you've got a wide board, especially on the surfacer, you're trying to hold the board steady. So we've introduced the machine wax. This is basically almost like a standard furniture wax, except this is non-silicone, so it will not mark your work. It's very easy to apply, it's just in a simple paste. So to use, very, very simple. Just prise the lid off. Don't use your best quality wood chisels, use a blunt old screwdriver, soft cloth and apply. Now, it's most importantly on a planer thicknesser in some ways, because when you lift the tables, you can then see the thicknesser table. Now that one is probably the table inside the machine which needs to be the most slippery, because you've got a limited amount of drive for the wood. You could just increase the thicknesses of the flutes on the drive rollers, but that marks the wood, so it's counterproductive. So a nice slippery table here, whether it's in aluminium or cast iron, come to that, will aid things really well. So as I say, this is just a very simple procedure. Just put a little bit on with your cloth, just like polishing a piece of furniture, really. So you've got plenty of access in here with the hood still down. Just smear it on nice and evenly. Okay, just leave it to a little dry a fraction. You can see it drying as you're putting it on, just like so. Get a clean part of the cloth and then buff. You don't want to remove it all, you want to leave some behind. And cast iron is a little bit like timber in that it's porous. I mean, moisture soaks into timber. Well, the surface of cast iron is porous in the same way, so the more regularly you apply the wax, the better the build-up inside the pores of the cast iron. So that becomes really slippery. You can immediately feel a difference. Your hand is gliding over it so easily, so it's not going to be hard to use. So I'll just do it a little bit more on the surfacing table here where you can see it a bit better. I mean, you can already see on this machine, which is probably about a year old, there are tiny little surface parts of rust here, and this is a very well heated and ventilated workshop. The average UK workshop is normally not. So dab a bit on, just apply it nice and evenly, just like a piece of furniture. Don't plaster it, just a thin skin, just like that. Make sure you're covering it. You can easily see the parts you've missed because they're glowing a little bit more silver. All right, just evenly spread it on. As you're putting it on, you can feel it drying. So once you feel a little bit of roughness, if you like, get your clean bit of your cloth again and just buff it. You can just see there, 3 or 4 strokes, and that's it. That's all you need to do. Put another coat on if you like, but here you can feel it, you can actually hear it squeaking. Not there, that's dead smooth. You can see where your hands rubbed it, there's a little bit left there. So machine wax stops your tables from rusting. Once they go really rusty, it's a heck of a job to get that rust removed, and it still leaves pits afterwards. So if you've got pride in your machines, you're going to look at it and think, oh, I wish I'd never left that to go rust. So it stops them rusting, but also aids the friction of your work on the machine. And especially with the thicknessing part of a planer thickness, it's really important. Anywhere where you're guiding the wood by hand, it helps a lot. Not expensive, lasts for ages, easy to put on. It's a win-win.